worked my fanny off on some of this stuff and didn't get it done. I just couldn't put it all together. And I just wondered if we couldn't work on this and maybe put it together here with the core. When we finally get this all put together, I wondered if we then, couldn't just have it mimeographed and give it to all the core every place, even those that have graduated. What I'm after here in this particular piece of work were the men and women who are mentioned by name, who were close to Paul, and many were companions in travel with him. Is that what I wrote? Guess I did. Men and women. That Donna Randall's a genius in typing this off. She can read my writing. Men and women mentioned by name, close to Paul, and many were companions in travel. And I've tried to go through to pick them all. Now, I think we ought to work on this tonight and see if we can get some of this stuff worked out. Maybe we can't get it all done tonight. Maybe we have to take it, but I think they told you to bring your dictionaries and stuff. I think, and Donna brought these over. This is all Donna's stuff. But we could go into, for instance, let's look up Silas if you brought it. Have I got any of you core back there, like some of you women or any of you that want to handle this piece of work? So that you can do it and I don't have to do it. You can learn doing it. Good. Yeah, first of all, get these all distributed. Okay. Give them to kids up here and get them passed out. We may have to have 2 or 3 of you from the back room to come up here and work on this stuff. If we need any chairs, we'll get some of those foldaways brought up here.
Do you want 6 core? We have enough for 6 core.
Have I got enough? Put them into a family unit or 2 or something. I just made working copies for tonight. That's what I made, just working copies. I think, when we finally finish, we ought to make a good copy and then everybody can have one. That's what I was trying to share. 2 things, girls, I'm interested in. Bring your chairs up. Where they were from, what city they were from originally. I better make a note of that for you. Original city they were from. What else was I interested in? I guess, and yet you see I went through so many that I just don't remember everything. But I was looking for the original city they were from, and I think the first mention in the Bible with Paul, their first mention when they were with Paul. And I was just take your paper and look at Silas, and I have nothing on your paper there. You see, later on I got a few things, but Silas, in my concordance, or this dictionary, it says a leading member of the church who also had prophetic gifts, Acts 15, 22 and 23. I wonder if that's the first mention of Silas. Look up Acts 15, 22. See if you have a center reference that goes before Acts 15, 22. Is there a center reference on Silas in any of your Bibles? And see what Bullinger does with it, honey. Who has it? All right, Wayne?
Well, I've got a concordance. It's listed the first time in Acts 15:22, and it's listed about 12 times.
Okay, Acts 15:22. Concordance may work real good on this. Acts 15:22, what does that say? In the church at Jerusalem or what? Who's got Acts 15? Yes, Jerry.
Then it pleased the apostles and elders with the whole church to send chosen men of their own company to Antioch, Paul and Barnabas, namely Judas, surnamed Barsabbas, and Silas, chief men among the brethren.
Okay, I can put behind this then Acts 15:22. Now what does 32 say? Yeah.
And Judas and Silas being prophets.
What?
And Judas and Silas being prophets also themselves exhorted the brethren with many words.
Okay. Okay. Silas is the same word as the word Silvanus. It's a shortened form.
Dr. Bullinger says it was his Latin name.
What?
Bullinger says that Silas was his Latin name.
Yeah. They think he was Semitic or something, according to this thing.
Was he not a Roman citizen because he was cast into prison with Paul at the time when the jailer got converted by Philippi?
He was a Roman citizen. Right. Acts 15:22 then would be the first mention. But his original city, I haven't seen in the Word. Have you? Was it where? Now, do any of you have any of these dictionaries and stuff with you tonight? If you need an extra one, if you don't have it, pick up one of these and go to Silas and just, you have to scan that stuff to see if we can find his original city. 4 of them there. You can have this one pretty quick because I'm going to give my seat to you girls and you can fight it out over here. But I'm showing you what I want done. Do you know, any of you seen the original? Yes. What do you have, Tom?
It doesn't say that his original city, but it does say in Acts 16:37 that Paul speaks of himself and Silas as both being Roman. So, where's that Roman citizenship?
16 what?
1637.
1637, yeah. Okay, we might make that note that he had Roman citizenship, might be of interest in our complete work of this. Anything further there that you would keep? I don't know what city he was from, really. I was trying to check this through, too.
Dr. Morrill, this dictionary says the same thing. He may have been a Roman citizen.
We want to know the city, his original city. Where was he born?
They don't have his birth, the city of his birth.
Okay, look up the word Timothy now. Shouldn't be a problem having a lot on this guy. Okay, here it's given in this line. Of course, Timothy, mother was a Jewess, his father a Greek. That would be interesting to note behind Timothy, which mother Jewess and father Greek. This is in Acts 16:1. First mention, he was a native of Lystra, Acts 16:1. What does Acts 16:1 say completely? Will someone read it to me? Yes, Paul.
Then came he to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there, named Timotheus, the son of a woman which was a Jewess, and believed, but his father was a Greek.
Okay. That would be the home city of Timothy, right? Lystra. So we'll put that in under Timothy. Yes, ma'am. Who is it? Hold up your hand. Yes, dear.
In the first epistle to Timothy, the bulletin note, it says that Timothy was born either at Derbe or Lystra.
Where would we have a reference to Derbe?
In the same verse. Then came he to Derbe and Lystra.
Wonder why the dictionary says Lystra then.
Okay, well, this Harper says, says it could be one or the other.
That's what Bollinger said.
There's another reference in Acts 20, verse 4.
What's it say?
And there a company came into Asia, goes on, and the phrase here is, and Gaius of Derbe and Timotheus. And then another phrase, and of Asia.
Where are you?
Acts 20, verse 4.
I'm going to read that tonight. I think that's where I got the idea he was from Lystra. She's got the documentation that's better than Bollinger. Read it again.
And there a company came into Asia, Sopater of Berea, and of the Thessalonians, Aristarchus, and Sendus, and Gaius of Derbe and Timotheus.
Gaius of Derbe and Timotheus and
of Asia.
See? Okay, I'll take Derbe. Or Derbe. Or Lystra, rather. No Derbe. Kentucky left. So, yes.
In 16:2, it says he was well known in Lystra. Not Derbe.
Well, I know the two towns are very closely associated. You know, they're like, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Okay, do you see what I'm after now to try to build? Okay. Sue, you can sit here and handle it from here on. You guys can see what you can do, and I'm going to work on some other stuff, and if I get tired of the work, then we'll finish it out some other time, but got a whole mess of them over here. Boy, the parallel between our twig work and the book of Acts and some of this stuff is absolutely phenomenal when you work this stuff. Yes, Art? Yeah.
Reading in 15:22, it says, then pleased the apostles and elders with the whole church to send chosen men of their own company. And where they were at that time was in Jerusalem.
Right.
27 says it. We have sent therefore Judas and Silas, who also tell you the same things by Rome. The elders at Jerusalem sent the letter, and with that, Barnabas and Paul, they say, we have sent therefore Judas and Silas, who shall also tell you the same things by mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Silas came from Jerusalem.
Well, I'd go with Jerusalem on Silas, because we haven't got anything else that he wasn't. Okay, let's put Jerusalem for Silas. And now you have to do exactly what you're doing. If you see any added light or can check out anything while you're moving from one to another, you just got to get your hand up and yell. Yes?
New Bible Dictionary, where under Timothy it says he's from Lystra. When I looked in Lystra, it seems to say that he was from Derbe.
Yeah, well, sounds like the work of a man. Okay. So, Take Luke. We'll be into, the 20th chapter again, and I've taught you this before. There are we sections in the book of Acts. Anytime it's the we section, and Luke is with Paul in the we section. But now, find out what you can about Luke. Okay, go to work on it.
Okay.
I have a question. It says the we sections with Luke, but in this dictionary it says Timothy traveled the most with Paul out of any of the men.
Right.
So you have to count the we's to find out how much Luke was with Paul. I don't know.
Well, I've done that, but I forgot.
Okay.
We'll have two of them tonight in chapter 20.
Okay, let's look up Luke.
Okay.
Okay, anybody found anything on Luke? John?
Says that he was probably from Antioch.
Okay, you've got it. The Douglas.
I got the second one you have.
Douglas, okay. Okay, Douglas says that he is probably from Antioch. Has anybody got any documentation on that? Have you found anything that backs that up from the Word? Okay, Beth, you got something?
Yeah. The first mention of him, we first hear of him
Where are you?
from Bollinger at Troas, which is Acts 16:10, and that's the first of the we sections. There are 4 we sections, got all of them listed. And there's a note at the bottom. He says it was held till recently that Lucas was never represented the Latin Lucius, but Sir W. Ramsay saw in 1912 an inscription on the wall of a temple in Antioch in Pisidia in which the names Laucus and Loicus or something are used of the same person. That may be where a note's come from, the thing on Antioch. His name appeared on a wall. But the portions that actually referred to him, the we sections, do you want me to call off the we sections?
Okay.
The first one is Acts 16, verses 10 through 17. The second, Acts 20, verse 5 through 15. The third, Acts 21, verse 1 through 18. And the last, Acts 27, verse 1 through 28. And he's got 3 other references to him in the epistles. Do you want those?
Who had their hand up back there? Bob.
Right. She said it. It's just that we first hear of him at Troas in Acts 16:10 and 11. That's the first mention of him, and that's where they were when he was first mentioned.
Yes.
Our dictionary says he's of Macedonian origin.
Okay. Yeah, back there.
Eusebius, I have a note that says Eusebius says Luke was from Antioch, but then later Ramsay changed his mind and said that he was from Philippi. But I don't know why.
I wonder where people get all this stuff. Frank?
I remember someone, a commentary saying that they were trying to make the man who he saw in a vision was Luke. So that would make him from Macedonia. I think that's how they got to go on that. They think the man he saw in a vision was Luke.
Yeah.
It wasn't a vision, but he was.
What Frank just said?
Yeah, in everyday life and Bible times said that apparently Luke now joined Paul, for at this point in the narrative the author writes in the first person plural. Luke Acts 16:9, with love produced physician.
Okay, what were you going to tell me?
Same thing. Suggested here that he was Macedonian.
I'm interested in where the scripture says he was from Macedonia.
It seems that if we can't come any closer than Troas, as far as what we can get right from the Word itself, then that's about the best we can do.
That's right. Then you put down what you can get from the Word, and then you can add a secular writer to it if you want to. You can say, well, Eusebius says he's from Macedonia. But I'm interested in what does the Word say where they're from.
Yeah.
Okay?
Verse 8. Okay. So let's go with Troas on Luke for the present time, and if anybody comes up with anything, more original as far as his life is concerned, then bring it up. That would be in Acts 16:8 is the reference. Is that right? Okay, let's go on to Aquila and Priscilla. Wayne. Okay, Wayne says Acts 18:2. Let's look at it. Okay, that looks nice and easy. Somebody, Wayne, read Acts 18:2 for everybody. Stand up.
And found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them.
All right.
Paul met him first where?
In Corinth.
Corinth. Now, do we assume from that it says Aquila, born in Pontus? What about Priscilla?
Well, we have no record of that, so we'll put the two together in the same place.
Okay. Makes it easy. Okay, so Aquila, Priscilla, born in Pontus, and got together with Paul at Corinth. Yeah.
Another interesting point is that their names are always mentioned together.
Okay, I think we need now to move down to Crispus. Check out Acts 18:8. See what it says.
He was the chief ruler of synagogue.
Crispus.
Acts 18.
Wayne?
He was converted at Corinthians in Acts 18:8.
Acts 18:8.
He was the chief ruler of the synagogue.
Yep.
Okay, Acts 18:8 says Crispus was the chief ruler of the synagogue, as you can read. At Corinth. Do we have any more documentation as far as where he was from originally? Is it Corinth?
1 Corinthians 1:14 says,
Linnell over here.
Yes, sir.
In 1 Corinthians, it says that he was baptized by Paul.
1 Corinthians. And what did you have, Wayne?
That's the same one.
What's the actual?
1 Corinthians
1:14.
1:14.
Baptized not of him, but Crispus and Gaius.
Dr. Wall, in order to be the chief ruler of the synagogue, would he have to have been born there in Corinth?
Nope. No.
So then it doesn't really prove he was from there?
Well,
I mean, born there.
necessarily. See, like Paul was trained by Gamaliel in Jerusalem. Depends on their education. Like Linnell said, you may want to make those notes that he was baptized by Paul. This kind of stuff. tell you what amazed me about the thing as I was checking it. I didn't have enough time to work this all out, else I would have worked it out myself with the details. But what amazed me are the companions that Paul had and the people that really were close to him, that he witnessed to, and that he taught a lot of the word to. They were sort of like, I thought of it today, like core people. Spent a lot of time with him. We worked with him closely. It's going to be real interesting to get this worked out. We're going to come up maybe with a few more. I don't think we're going to find many more, but you know, whenever I say that, then I get in trouble. There's possibilities. Anybody lose this unique button here? I found it. You can't buy this. So, okay, Fred, I'll bring it to you. Keep going, girls.
Okay. So we've got nothing more documented than this Acts 18:8 at Corinth. So we'll go with that. The next is Tertius. I guess you pronounce that. Romans 16:22. Okay, go ahead.
I, Tertius, who wrote this epistle, greet you in the Lord.
It's the only one?
Yeah. So this one says Paul's secretary wrote the epistle to the Romans.
Okay, anything else anybody got? Oh, okay. So the best I think we can do with Tertius is a Roman, in other words, from Rome. Okay, and Quartus?
We've got him as a Roman.
Romans 16:23. Says Gaius mine host, and the whole church, and Erastus the chamberlain, and Quartus a brother. So if they're the host, what city are they in? What are they what city are they in then?
Hey, honey bunch, you're skipping on me. What you skipping on me for? Have you had Apollos?
No.
No? Isn't that what you got Alexandria mean?
A lousy thing.
Oh, okay.
I want to go through every one of them.
Okay.
Because these are just scriptures I inserted that may not fit in the total program, but they were just things that hit my mind.
Okay.
Also on here on this page, you're down to Philemon over there. See Philemon?
Yeah.
Colossi is the word, not Colossi. C-O-L-O. Colossi. And when you get down to Lucius, Sosipater, and Jason down there, see them? Further down.
Yes, sir.
That word, where Romans 16:21 is?
Yep.
Okay, that's Macedonia. Don't blame anybody for not being able to read my writing. Okay, now you got to take one at a time, honey.
Okay, let's go back up to Apollos then. Try that again.
You can read that 16:12 and you'll see why I put it there.
Okay, 1 Corinthians 16:12. Who's got it? Dennis.
I've got where he's from. Acts 18:24.
Well, let's read 1 Corinthians 16:12 first. Who's got it? All right, Charlene.
As touching our brother Apollos, I greatly desired him to come unto you with brethren. But his will was not at all to come at this time, but he will come when he shall have convenient time.
says where he's
It
from.
doesn't say Alexandria there. It must say.
It says it right here, Acts 18:24.
Acts 18:24.
Apollos born at Alexandria.
18:24. Okay. Acts 18:24 says, and a certain Jew named Apollos, born at Alexandria, an eloquent man. Okay.
Read me about 16:12.
Read it to you?
16:12.
1 Corinthians.
Yeah.
As touching.
I'll show you why I put this one in here. Go on.
As touching our brother Apollos, I greatly desired him to come unto you with the brethren, but his will was not at all to come at this time, but he will come when he shall have convenient time.
Anybody have a Bollinger Analytical? Go on, I'll come back. I'll get it Bollinger and show you something.
Okay. All right, let's go on to Aristarchus. Acts 19:29.
Let's see. That's where he's from. Thessalonica.
Okay, that's not the city though.
And the whole city's there.
Somebody want to read that? Ruth.
And the whole city was filled with confusion, and having caught Gaius and Aristarchus, men of Macedonia, Paul's companions in travel, they rushed with one accord into the theater.
Okay, so it says they both were men of Macedonia. Can we document that any closer as far as the city's concerned? Who back? John.
Chapter 20, verse 4, it says, there are company in Asia, Sopater of Berea, and of the Thessalonians, Aristarchus.
Anybody else? Frank?
In chapter 27 of Acts, verse 2, it says, entering in a ship in Adramyttium, we launched, meaning to sail by the coast of Asia, one Aristarchus, the Macedonian of Thessalonica, being with us.
Okay, anybody else?
It's a city in Macedonia.
Okay. All right, it sounds Thessalonica is a city within Macedonia, according to the map. So what was the verse?
27. Acts 27.
What was that verse that with Thessalonica? 27:2. Okay, I think that documents it pretty well, don't you? All right. So that's Acts 27, verse 2. All right. Trophimus, Acts 24. To Asia. Okay, note there, we've got two verses on that Aristarchus. Let's mark that. You've got one also in chapter 20, verse 4. Alrighty, Trophimus.
Acts 21.
29. Yeah. It's Ephesians.
Acts 21:29.
Yeah.
Check it out. Somebody got it? Okay, hon.
For they had seen before with him in the city Trophimus and an Ephesian, whom they supposed that Paul had brought into the temple.
Okay. Anything else anybody has? Acts 19:29. Did you say Acts 19:29?
That's for Aristarchus.
Hon, I think you're on the wrong guy. 21:29. Okay.
We just read it.
Okay.
The first one.
Yeah. Larry?
It's also mentioned in
2 Timothy 4:20. Want to read? Yeah, Mike.
I was just looking at it. It might be interesting to see what that word left means. Left in it, lead them sick. I don't know.
You talking about the verse in Timothy?
Yeah, 4:20. Or it's him splitting out from Paul. If that's what he did.
Okay. I think that yeah. Acts 21:29 says it.
The next one you can look at.
Okay, next one, Tychicus. Acts 24 again.
20 verse 4. It says here he was a close friend of Paul, and this is when he was first mentioned. He's mentioned being of Asia, perhaps a native of Ephesus.
No, he's mentioned along with Trophimus.
Yeah. Yeah, same verse.
Okay. Anybody got anything more definite, Don?
In Harper's it says that according to Ephesians 16:1, Tychicus was the bearer of the epistle to the Ephesians.
Tychicus. Okay, what reference was that?
Ephesians 6:21.
Ephesians 6:21. 6:21. Ephesians. Why did you give us that reference, Don?
Well, in Harper's it claims that this kind of, suggests that he bared the epistle to the Ephesians. It says, "Beloved brother and faithful minister in the Lord shall make known to you all things." This epistle is written to the Ephesians.
Russ?
In 2 Timothy 4:12, it says, "Antichus have I sent to Ephesus." So that might substantiate.
Where is he when he says that?
Well, he wrote this from Rome, didn't he?
Check Colossians 4:7. Can you guys check that? Somebody check Colossians 4:7. Okay. And somebody else Titus 3:12. Beth, go ahead.
Colossians 4:7 says, "All my state shall Tychicus declare unto you, who is a beloved brother and a faithful minister and fellow slave in the Lord, whom I have sent unto you for the same purpose." So again, he was sent to them, but that he might know your estate and comfort your hearts with Onesimus, brother, a faithful and beloved brother also. So he was just, someone that was sent to them too.
But it doesn't really tell you where from. Mary?
Just a note in the bottom of the bottom of chapter 6 of Ephesians. It says, written from Rome unto the Ephesians by his petition.
What is that, a center reference in a Cambridge? Mary, I can't hear you, honey. What are you saying?
Like a footnote.
And it's, what is that, Cambridge? What do you got? Okay. Titus 3:12? Okay.
In order for him to send him, it seems to me to be there with him. But
What, has everybody decided where Tychicus is from? Okay.
I've got a question. In the New Bible Dictionary, it says Tychicus, an Asian. The Western text says an Ephesian. What would the Eastern text call it? And where would they get their difference? Is it like Eli Lamana Sabatani? One way it's one place, one way it's another? Is there a discrepancy between the Eastern and the Western text here?
Bernina says no. Okay, what? Linnell, please.
Look on the map. Ephesus is in Asia. I think the implication is that he was from Ephesus because he's associated with Trophimus, and the fact that he's referred to as beloved brethren sort of implies that the people know him and that he can make known to him what Paul is doing. So the implication is that he's an Ephesian, but it's not stated.
I think you're right. So, what's that? Acts. What we got? Verse 1. Acts. What? 20.
You mean for Tychicus?
Yeah.
I've got Acts 24. Let me look at the first one.
Okay, I think we can use Acts 24 and Acts 21:29 on that one also. Okay, let's go on to Onesiphorus, 2 Timothy 1:16.
It's actually 1:18. Says it like
that. Anybody got 2 Timothy?
I do.
Okay, Fern. Go ahead.
The Lord give mercy unto the house of Onesiphorus, for he oft refreshed me and was not ashamed of my chains. But when he was in Rome, he sought me out very diligently and found me. The Lord grant unto him that he may find mercy of the Lord in that day. And in how many things he ministered unto me at Ephesus, thou knowest very well.
Okay, it doesn't say where he's from there. It says that while he was in Rome, so he was a visitor at that time. So where is this, speaking of him, Onesiphorus, where is it coming from? What city?
In the Bible dictionary, it refers to, look up 2 Timothy 4:9.
Okay. We could draw there a connection between Priscilla Aquila and the household of Onesiphorus. But does it say? Yeah, let's keep looking. Anybody got anything?
Verse 12, the context implies that he was in Ephesus.
Verse 12 of what?
Verse 12 of chapter 4, Later on, it says in verse 19, salute the household. 19 together would imply that he was from Ephesus.
No, it sounds like he's somewhere else, and he's sending somebody to Ephesus.
Yeah.
It doesn't say that Priscilla, Aquila, and Onesiphorus are there.
Got 4 hands up back here.
Yes, sir.
Paul, Onesiphorus ministered to Paul while he was in Rome in prison.
Do you have documentation on that? Oh, I see. Okay, now who had another hand up?
He was not ashamed of my chain.
Okay. Brian.
At the end of 2 Timothy, I have a little note that says, once again, it's one of those footnote type things. The second epistle unto Timotheus, ordained the first bishop of the church of the Ephesians. So if he sent his epistle to Timothy, and Timothy was in Ephesus, and if he said, salute the household of Onesiphorus or Onesiphorus, then the implication is that Onesiphorus is in Ephesus at this time.
Yes, sir.
Do you have pronunciation marks in the Bible? They'll vary a little bit, but it would be nice while you're going through to establish the pronunciation of these names. Got enough brains in here in English and grammar to do this, okay?
Okay, who knows their grammar well enough to be accurate and tell us how to pronounce these names, and who's got the accent marks? Brian, would you do that for us as we go along, please?
Yes.
Okay,
This is Onesiphorus.
Onesiphorus. Meaning the accents on the...
S-I-P-H.
S-I-P-H. Okay, everybody got that? No? Say it once more, Brian.
Onesiphorus.
Okay, everybody say it.
Onesiphorus.
Once more.
Onesiphorus.
All right, good. Okay, is anybody? Yes, Larry.
It says in 2 Timothy 1:18 that he ministered at Ephesus. That unto me is not in the text.
Has anybody found anything other than Ephesus yet? I think... Okay, if you notice on here, Doctoral has Iconium. Does anybody run across that? Edna?
I was just going to say that none of that indicates where he was, what we just went over indicates where he was born.
No.
It's like where he's residing or where he's gone to.
Right. But so far that's the best we can do. We've not come up with anything else.
My dictionary says the possibility that he's changed.
Okay. Which one have you got? Zonderman? Did they give any possible documentation on it, or are they just picking it out of the air?
Apocryphal Acts of Paul and Jesse. And that's the story that appears as a man.
Ted, do you have something? Okay, last call. Anybody come up with Iconium? Can we, draw a reference from that, from the word? Well, what do you say we go with Ephesus then? What'd you say, Phil?
I don't believe we've got anything that establishes Ephesus.
Well, I think it's the closest we've got. It says in 2 Timothy 1:18, the Lord grant unto him that he may find mercy of the Lord in that day, and in how many things he ministered unto me at Ephesus. That's the closest we can bring Paul and Onesiphorus together, as far as I can see.
Maybe we could make a note that that was his place of residence.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to say that just because he was at Ephesus at that particular time with the movement of the people and the ministry doesn't necessarily mean that he came from there. Aquila and Priscilla started at Ephesus, went to Rome, went back to Ephesus, and then went someplace else.
Of course. Having in Rome the verse before where he ministered in Rome.
He came to Rome.
He came and searched for it.
Let's use 2 Timothy 1:18 and just make a note. That's the point at which we bring the two together right now. And let's go on to Brian. How do you pronounce the next one?
I think it's a penitus, but let me find out. Let me find my pronunciation mark.
You're looking up Romans 16:5 while he's checking it out.
It is a penitus.
Everybody hear that? A penitus. Everybody say it. A penitus. Once more. A penitus. Okay. Now keep that in your minds and don't forget. Someone please read that verse for us, Kathy.
Likewise, greet the church that is in their house. Salute my well-beloved Epaphras, who is the first fruits of Achaia unto Christ.
It also mentions that this name is mentioned only here. The person's name is mentioned only there. Is that in Bullinger? Yeah. All right. Anybody got anything different on that? Kathy?
It says that they believe that in the oldest manuscripts that they have the Achaeanization.
Okay.
In 1 Corinthians 16:15, it says, I beseech you, brethren, ye know the house of Stephanus, that it was the first fruits of Achaia. That means that what this name was supposed to be was of the household of Stephanus also, because they were both the first fruits.
What was that reference again?
1 Corinthians 16:15.
Okay, I want to go back a moment to Onesiphorus in 2 Timothy 1:18. You don't have to turn there, but let me clarify. I think there was still a little confusion on that. Okay. Talking about Onesiphorus in 16, then 17 says, but when he was in Rome, he sought me out very diligently and found me. The Lord grant unto him that he may find mercy of the Lord in that day, and in how many things he ministered unto me at Ephesus thou knowest very well. Now the impression I get from that is that he was visiting in Rome, but in Ephesus he was acting as a host. That, in other words, Ephesus would appear to be more of his residence place than Rome he was just visiting in. Okay? Good. Back to Brian, did we come up with a final pronunciation for that name?
Well,
We're still working on it.
I think we're still working on it.
Okay, you keep working on
Mine
it.
still says Epicnetus. We're still working on it.
All right. So much for pronunciation. Okay, Romans 16:5 we're on. Now you notice your list gives Romans 16:5 of Ephesus. And this verse says first fruits of Achaia in Christ. Is Ephesus in Achaia? Did everybody check their map? See?
Ephesus is in Asia. Some texts, Achaia is translated Asia. So Ephesus is in Asia.
Okay, that's what we'll go with. So we're leaving that one just as it stands. All right, the next one is Nymphus. Brian?
Nymphus.
In some places, Achaia is translated Asia, and Ephesus is in Asia.
That's a note in Bullinger.
Bullinger said that, but can we document it in the words somewhere? In other words, how do we know that's real?
We'd have to have a Greek text, right?
Because Achaia is in Greek. But the sense here, the text is
Kathy?
Whatever it is, a little old one. It's the Bible Encyclopedia, and it says that in the best manuscripts they found, it said it was translated Asia.
That Achaia was translated Asia.
In the best manuscripts that they had.
Mrs. Jess, do you have anything on that?
On what?
Asia is Achaia. If they're translated the same words translated differently.
According to your Hebrew dictionary, Achaia is a political area, and it was quite a large size, but mainly in Greece. And it varied from one time period to another. It was an Achaean league of cities, political view.
Yes. Thank you. Anything else? Ruth?
My map shows it over the bottom portion of Greece.
According to what we can find, this map is entitled The Journeys of Paul the Apostle. So it would be at this correct time in history that Achaia is part of southern Greece. Mike?
Well, what's the authority of the text that Linnell quoted? I mean, there are things that are more accurate than the Stevens text.
Yeah.
You were quoting Bullinger, weren't you, Linnell?
Right.
Not Stevens.
Well, he had it from some other text, though, somewhere.
Are you
Bullinger got it from
volunteering to
somewhere.
check out all the texts? For us?
Yes.
On my map, it has right to the right of Achaia has Asia.
Yeah.
So
You see,
are they saying that they're both the same?
if this note is correct, then what happened was they took the word Achaia and translated it for the word Asia, which means that it would be possible for Ephesus to be the city that we're looking for. But I don't know if we can really know for sure unless we go back and check out all our Greek texts, unless somebody's got some knowledge on it that can help us out.
Okay. Close it now, and we'll put it into the twig and let the twigs work on it. Give us something to do before breakfast. 1 Corinthians 16:12.
Yeah.
This verse I just want to share with you because of a record that comes up in Acts 20. We'll see it later tonight when I get into it again. Toward the latter part, when he calls all the elders and bishops and so forth from Ephesus. 29, 30 is what I'm looking for. Of your own selves also will men arise, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after them. Corinthians is written regarding the practical error that has crept into the church. And I think here in 1612 I have a documentation, at least this is how I feel about the in-depth spiritual or principle one of the core, whatever that thing is, awareness of the depth. And this is very unique in here in 1612. That's why I wanted to check out some stuff. I don't know what I did with it anymore. I wrote it down someplace. Is my yellow tablet back there on the desk? I may scratch some things here in the left margin. There it is. Concerning Apollos, the brother, Adelpho, Philadelphia brother. Much I exhorted, that's parakalesa. It's like the word paraclete. Remember, exhort, comfort. I exhorted. To exhort is to encourage toward a more worthy endeavor. Him, auton, hina, that he, aleithe, should go pros, first. That he should go first. And the first to me means right now. He should go to you first, right now. With meta, tone, adelphone, the rest of the brethren, and kai, patos, not at all, uk, hein was his telema, his will, or his desire. Hina noon, that now, alethe, he would come. But elucidae, he will come, and then this word oikarese, when he shall have opportunity. King James says what? Convenient. When it shall be convenient. This word oikarese means, it's translated leisure, opportunity, in season. Preach the word in season. Remember that? That's the same word, in season. When you have opportunity, it's translated also. I see in this verse the beginning of the breaking up of the one mind in the church of the body. Because when he calls the elders together in Acts 20:30, he says, of your own selves will men arise, speaking perverse things to draw away disciples after them. And I will show you as I get into this word that these were all bishops that he called together. They were all the top brass. And of them, and Apollos, I believe, was one of them. And this indication in Corinth is that Apollos did not respond to Paul's leadership. Concerning Apollos the brother, much I exhorted him. Much I exhorted him. He begged him to go with the rest of the brethren. But he said, well, I won't go now. I'll go when it's more convenient for me to go. In other words, when I finish what I want to do, then I'll go. But I won't go now. And that's standing against the greatest revelation the greatest apostle ever had. And that makes Apollos wrong. That, I think, is in the in-depth spiritual awareness of that verse. Want to go through it again? Okay. As touching our brother Apollos, pick it up at verse 10. That'd be better. Now, if Timothy come, see that he may be with you without fear, for he worketh the work of the Lord as I also do. Let no man therefore despise him, but conduct him forth in peace, that he may come unto me. For I look for him with the brethren. As touching our brother Apollos, I greatly desired him to come unto you with the brethren, but his will was not at all to come at this time, but he'll come when he shall have convenient time. In other words, when I get around to it, when I finish taking care of Maggie and the rest of the stuff and everything fits right, then I'm going to come. I think Apollos tripped out. And that is the beginning of what later on in Acts 20 that he says is going to happen to the church in Ephesus and the rest of the places. Because they will not follow the leadership of this Paul and Paul's revelation regarding the mystery. And if you remember, Apollos came from Alexandria, out of the Greek background, highly trained, intellectually sharp. But I don't think Apollos ever got all the way through to really walking on the greatness of the revelation. Had head problems. Because he most likely said, well, I got a better education than you have, Paul. After all, I was trained in Alexandria. You were just trained in Jerusalem. You are Jewish in background, I'm Greek in background. Us Greeks are the elite of the world. I think Apollos had a head problem. And that's why he did not accept the leadership of Paul, and that's where I think the thing began to break. And as far as I know, that's the last reference to Apollos in the Word of God. Whenever men in the Word go against the true revelation of God's Word, they always shelve themselves. Their ministry's over with. They keep going on, you know, they do little altar calls, but their ministry, understand? is over with. For a man with a ministry will only continue having that ministry in operation as long as he walks on the revelation. That's why a man could be a prophet, and the moment he screws up on God's word and quits following God or his word, what happens to his ministry? It's shelved. It's no longer efficacious, powerful. That's what happened to Apollos. Remember the prophets of the Old Testament? That one guy didn't correct his sons, remember? Yet he was a prophet. But it was just shelved. From that time on, when he didn't carry it out, he no longer had any power with God, had no revelation. There's another record in the Old Testament about a young prophet. God sends a young prophet to town, and the old prophet says, "Well, you come home with me. I've been a prophet a long time." The old prophet was right. He was a prophet for a long time. But he had shelved himself because he refused to walk by the revelation. Well, this stuff is really sharply cut. This is a real in-depth verse here in 12. Real in-depth. Yes, Bob?
I get the feeling reading this verse that when he says, "But he will come when he shall have convenient time," that Paul was just covering. You know, it's like that Apollos had blown it, and he was just covering so it didn't look bad for the ministry.
That's right. That's exactly what he said. He was covering for Apollos. That's right. But what I'm showing you much deeper than that was the beginning of the break between Paul knew Apollos was finished. He just didn't say so.
We're thinking here from that verse that Dr. Werwell taught us on in verse 12 of 2 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians 16.
1 Corinthians 16:12. We're talking in here back in, you see what developed with Apollos and the fact that he started to intellectualize the mystery and started losing the whole vision of what the mystery of that one body, Christ in you, the hope of glory. And you can look back as close as Corinthians 15 and see where Paul was having a battle with these guys. They were glad to live within the grace, but they didn't want to accept the fact that there was a resurrection from the dead. And he says here, I was just thinking this one thing here, he said, if there be no resurrection of the dead, then of all the people on the face of the earth, we are most pitiful. And he was trying to reason with them, and that's great teaching. And Duke, one of you guys said something else back there. Which one of you was it?
Yeah, we were talking about, you see, this thing sparked their minds back there to think stuff through. We're talking about, one group said, I am of Paul, yeah. Peter, Cephas. You see, Peter never really got over his legalism. Paul had to withstand him to the face once. See? They just reacted against the leadership, and they never saw the greatness of the mystery, and therefore the mystery was lost. And the whole thing went down the drain.
You know, and it looks to me like that's throughout history. The devil's pulled the same trick.
Same damn authority. He'll pull it on you, too, unless you stay faithful to the Word.
That's right.
We were talking about in chapter 1 of 1 Corinthians and chapter 3, it says this stuff Paul has to set in order, where they were saying, I'm of Paul, I'm of Apollos, I'm of Cephas. In chapter 9, Paul says, they were bugging him about things, and he says, Am I not an apostle? Am I not free? Have I not seen Jesus Christ our Lord?
Yeah.
Are ye not my work in the Lord?
See, that's
goes
right.
down and says, Have we not power to lead about a sister, a wife, as well as other apostles, and as the brethren of the Lord and Cephas?
They were challenging his right to leadership.
Right. And the interesting thing I thought was that, I never understood before how that this division was inspired by some leaders. That I always thought it was just the people who were saying, I'm of Paul, I'm of Apollos. But you see where the leadership was off, and that was causing that division.
Peter said, I'm going to do my little trip.
Right.
Apollos says, I'm going to do my trip.
You can hear them so well. You say, I agree with you up to a certain point, but when it gets to here, Paul, we don't like what you're doing.
That's right.
In 1 Corinthians 14, we brought this up. It says, let the prophets speak 2 or 3, and let the other judge. If anything be revealed to another that sitteth by, let the first hold his peace, for ye may all prophesy one by one, that all may learn and all may be comforted. And the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets.
Amen.
God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches.
Boy, oh boy.
Then you brought up how they challenged him because of his Greek education.
That's right.
His Jewish education.
Right, the policies.
Right. Because at that time, the Greeks were the egotists. They graduated from KU and Harvard. Vassar, Smith, private schools. And therefore, they never got Bill.
But isn't it true that the mystery of the church, sure, we get down to the point where they lost the mystery. But really, Paul led, and isn't the reason they lost the mystery because they lost the leadership first? Because how can you lead people with divided leaders? And this has always hit me in the mystery, losing the mystery in the first century church. Because the people go no further than the leadership.
But the leadership lost the mystery.
That's right.
Right. That's what I mean. And they didn't stay with Paul. They didn't stay faithful with him. And they started to get division among themselves.
Right.
And then they lost the mystery entirely in the first century.
And as I work the Word and see some of this stuff, like somebody brought up there earlier this evening, I see Paul always covering for them, and yet never lying, but he covers for their weaknesses, still believing that they're going to bounce back. I see it in Jesus. Gosh, I see it in Jesus with Judas.
Yeah.
Boy, I see it in Jesus with Judas. Boy, all the way through to the ascension, he just tried his best to get that man back on the ball. And Judas, had he gone back to Jerusalem and believed God, he'd have received just like everybody else. That's why I know he couldn't have been born of the seed. The commentaries, the Orthodox commentaries, conservative biblical commentaries say he was born of the wrong seed.
Yeah.
No. Else Jesus Christ is a liar, and Jesus Christ not a liar. Well, it's quite interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, fellas.